Nice bed. This is far enough back. Whoa. We have books to talk about. And obviously a novel here. Hi, hello, welcome back, Lucas Besties, to another video. As you see by today's title, we are going to be talking about the 8 books that I read in February, my February monthly wrap up. I am quite shocked that I was still able to read 8 books because February was the month that I really started in on my job. Like, I started officially the last week of January, like the 27th of January. And February was my first full month of working there. And I still managed to read 8 books. And I still feel like I could read even more in March because I'm just in a reading mood. Like, especially with the book that I'm currently reading, I'm actually quite perplexed by the things that are happening in the book right now. But you will hear more about the book in a vlog coming your way soon and in my March wrap up. But I digress. Let's hop into some stats, which I haven't even calculated myself yet. So we're all gonna sit here together and calculate stats together. So we're gonna whip out the handy dandy other phone and do some stats together. So I read 8 books, like I said previously, in the month of February. I did have one DNF. I don't know how I managed to DNF a book 2 months in a row, but here we are. And I hope I keep this track going where, like, if I'm not enjoying a book, I DNF it. I wish I could DNF sooner than I do because both of the times I got into these books, I was like 200 plus pages into the book and I DNF'd it. But I digress. I still DNF'd it. That's what counts. I didn't let it bring me down and then give a book like a 2-star rating. So including the pages that I, like the page of the book that I DNF'd in the month, I read a total of 2,588 pages, but without the pages of the book that I DNF'd, I read 2,314 pages, which is still a lot of pages, and that don't think that's a lot, but like, I gotta say that it's lower than the previous month, I believe, because I did read 3 mangas. Oh, I only have one of the mangas in here. So that means I actually have read more pages than I thought I did because I only have 2 of the 3 mangas in here. So give me 30 seconds. Let me add in this second, the other volume that I read. So exactly, I read 2,780 pages with the other manga added in, which is pretty good. So in terms of genre, I read one romance book, 3 mangas, and 3 fantasy books, and 1 like dark academia fantasy book. Yeah, we did some reading this month. But let's hop straight into the books to not keep this video any longer than it's going to be because I have a feeling that I am going to yap about some of these books. So with that being said, the first book that I finished in the month of I can't remember what the month was. In the month of February was Wretched by Emily McIntyre. And this was a 4.25. This is my second favorite after Scorn. I don't think anything can beat Scorn. Something about Scorn just sits in my soul. But I still ended up really, really enjoying this. I loved Nicholas and Evelina. So in this book, you are following Evelina Westerly. She is like the mastermind behind her father's like business. They are like a gang in the city, or they run with the mafia. One of the two. I don't really remember which one. But she is a mastermind. She is the one who makes the drugs, who basically runs the empire behind this. And then you have Nicholas Woodsworth, is what his last name was. He is a DEA agent, and he goes undercover into Eveline's family. The thing is, they had a one night stand right before he went undercover, and he gave her a name, his real name, and now he comes in using a different name to get into the family, and she immediately like something's up with you. So it's a little bit of forbidden romance because she's literally a criminal and he's a DEA agent, but they fall in love anyways. This kind of reminded me of the Mindfuck series, but not in the same sense. Like, not in the same sense at all. Like, it's not the same at all. But, like, it kind of reminded me of that, like, storyline of, like, romance-wise. I still really, really enjoyed this. I'd love to get into Everlane 11 and now Nicholas. And seeing them fall in love, peak perfection. Loved it. Absolutely, like, recommend this. You know what I just realized as well? I did have a second book in the month of February. I did have Gideon the Ninth. We'll get to that later. The next book that I read in the month of February with the messed up cover, okay, listen, it's not my fault, okay, is Heartless Hunter by Krista Sorelli. I started this reread back in December, and I just not finished it in February. I actually think I got the audiobook of this and I finished it up. I ended up changing my rating from a 5-star to a 4.5, I believe is what I'm going to stick with this time around, just because I didn't love it as much as I did the first time I read it. But I still really, really, really enjoyed it. I love seeing Ren and Gideon, the turmoil that both of them were in, because he's a witch and he's a witch hunter and she's a witch, and she's trying to protect these witches from getting, you know, murdered pretty much. While he's also trying to protect this, like, kingdom or whatever you want to call it from the witches, because they were under the weight of witches for so long. And, like, seeing the inner turmoil between the two of them, even more so in the second book, which I also read in the month of February, but we'll get there in a minute, okay? I'm gonna get ahead of myself. But I really, really enjoyed my reread. I just got sucked into other books and forgot about this. And I realized that I was still reading it. I needed to finish it, and I finished it. Really, really liked it. I did cry again towards the end of this book. Wasn't expecting to cry. No. Do I usually say that books that are 5 stars make me cry? Yes, but because I didn't enjoy it as much the first time, I did bump my rating down by only half a star rating. So I still count this as a win. Okay? If you don't know what this book is about, we are following Gideon and Rune. Rune is the Crimson Moth, which is a mysterious witch who frees witches before they are basically murdered. And then you have Gideon, who is the captain of the guard, who basically hunts these witches down. And she decides that in order for her to save this one particular witch that her grandmother told her to go after, she needs to get in close to figure out where she is so she can help her escape. And she decides that Gideon is her way in, while Gideon is also after Rune because he was being told that she is the Crimson Moth. They're after each other. They don't know that they're after each other, and now they're courting each other. Yeah, so I definitely recommend. It's really quick and easy. I'm just me, so don't mind that. The next thing that I read was Black Clover, and I actually read the first 2 volumes of this, so I'm going to talk about them together. I read the first 2 volumes of Black Clover, which is a manga and anime series, and I've heard really, really good things about. I do want to get back into, like, my manga reading and anime watching era. I just haven't been on top of it because I have so many other hobbies. I play Animal Crossing, I read, I do YouTube, I work a full-time job now, and I have to consume booktube content. It's just a lot. So I haven't really been watching a lot of TV or reading a lot of manga or watching anime, but this is my start again. And I actually really enjoy both of these. I think I gave the first one a 4-star and then this one like a 3.5, just because this felt like a bunch of fighting for no reason. And I don't know whether I liked it or not. So I gave it 3.5 because I was very much middle of the road with it, but I still really like our characters in both of these. I actually have volume 3 somewhere in my room. I don't know where. I think I see it over there. And then my brother has the 4th volume, because I got the first 4 volumes from my library, and that's how I'll be reading these. And I really enjoyed them, so you will see more of these in future wrap-ups. After that, after reading volume 1, because I read volume 2 in my 24-hour readathon, which is But after reading Volume 1 of Black Clover, I also sat down and read A Son of Affection Volume 1, which I actually need to go get from my library tomorrow before they put it back and I don't have it anymore. I actually need to make sure that I still have it because I need that book. Oh, it's not on this phone. Okay, I have to check it later when I get off recording. But I read A Son of Affection Volume 1, which is you're following this girl. I cannot remember her name. Yes, Yuki is a college student, but she's also deaf, so she uses sign language. So this book follows Yuki as she's going through like her everyday college life, and she meets a guy who takes a sudden interest in her. So this is very much like a romance where they fall in love, I believe. At least I hope so. I have heard really good things about this manga series, and so I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. I don't read a lot of romancy mangas, but I was like, I'm gonna give this one a try because why the hell not? But yes, she meets a guy. He's like, you just teach you sign language. And then he also kind of like looks out for her. Guys, when I say I was literally giggling reading this, yeah, no, I need to immediately tomorrow. I cannot forget to go on my lunch break to get the book from Hold. Because if I don't, it will go back and I will have to wait again in line for the Hold to come to me. And I cannot do that. So, but I really, really enjoyed it. I gave this a 4-star. I definitely can see myself falling in love with the series and ended up giving a later book in this series, like manga series, like 5 stars. Just because I loved it, but it's just the beginning one, so it's just like the beginning stages of everything. But I still really, really enjoyed it, and I definitely do recommend it. The next book that I read, which I ended up finishing up in my 24-hour readathon, and originally was going to be in my continuing series vlog for February, but I didn't end up doing one. So, that book is The Only Other Sword by Tasha Shuri. I ended up giving this 5 stars. It's definitely my favorite of the 2 books I have read so far, but depending on book 3, it may become my second favorite. But I really, really enjoyed this. This picks up, I think, a couple months after the ending of book 1, so they've kind of grown into what they're doing after the events of book 1. So without spoiling this, I'll give you the plot of book 1. In book 1, you were following both. Oh my god, I can never remember their names. Malini and Priya. Priya is this servant at this like household. When Princess Melina gets sent there because her brother is very awful and he wants her to, okay? And he's like, I'm gonna send you here to make you think on your actions and rethink everything. And if you rethink everything and make up your mind, maybe you can come back. But he really had no interest in letting her come back. There's a chance encounter where Melina meets Priya, and Melina decides she wants Priya as her handmaiden, and so it happens, and the two tend to grow closer and closer and closer when Melina decides she wants Priya to help her escape from where she is at to get back to her people, to help them and to get to her brother. I'm giving you a very terrible plot because I cannot remember the book 1 for me because I'm so stuck on everything that happened in this book, especially the last like 50 pages of this book really had me flabbergasted and like shook to my core. But nonetheless, I really loved it. 5 stars. One of my favorite books of 2025 so far. I have read 16 books this year, and I think this is one of my like 2 new 5-star books, I believe, or maybe 3. I've had 3 5 stars in 2026, and this is definitely the standout one for me. I think out of all of them, this one I can't decide though because Bad Blood left a like feeling in me. And then next book I talk about is also a 5-star. So I'm not quite sure which one is my favorite quite yet, but I definitely think this one stands out more than the other 2 at the moment, just because I love this so much. The plot kind of blew up, the world blew up, the magic system kind of also blew up in here, and I really, really loved reading this, and cannot wait to get to book 3. I think I'm going to get to it in the vlog that I'm recording right now, so be on the lookout for that. But definitely do recommend this series. It is sapphic. It's just, I don't want to say it's the wrong thing. Is this, don't know what this is inspired by, but I definitely do recommend it because it's really good and I really enjoyed it. Merry Christmas to me. The next book that I read was The Rebel Witch by Krista Ciccarelli, which is the second book following Heartless Hunter. This is the end of the duology. I gave this 5 stars. I sure did. I'm not going to go over the plot book once. I already talked about that in this video. But I'm just going to go ahead and straight into my thoughts with this one. I enjoyed this one thoroughly. A bit more. I feel like Heartless Hunter walked, so this one could fucking run. When I tell you it was like enemies to reluctant allies to back to enemies, back to reluctant allies, back to lovers. We only get the lovers and like this part of the book. Like that's it. But I need more. Like, it's just really give me more. Like, what do you mean that's it? What do you mean? I want more Gideon and Rune. But to put perspectively into this is also takes place a couple months after the ending of Heartless Hunter. Rune and Gideon are in 2 different places. Ended up reuniting, and coming together and having to work together. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to tell you how it happens. Obviously, I don't want to give any spoilers. I definitely, if you want more thoughts on my feelings of this book, definitely go watch my 24-hour readathon video because I read the entirety of this book in there and you see some reactions toward the end of this book. I really, really enjoyed it. I cannot lie to you. Like, I think this is a close second after the Yaleander Sword for me because of how much I really, really enjoyed this. Like I said, I think Heartless Hunter walked, so this one could motherfucking run, okay? I get it. I loved it. Krista Ciccarelli has a way of writing that's just so easy to read and makes you want to read. And the way she lays things out is so perfectly well. I do have one gripe with this book, and that was because I guessed one of the major big plot twists in this book from book 1. Based on the ending of book 1, I kind of guessed something. And then going into this, I knew it immediately going in with it. And so to find out about it 30-40% of the way through the book, I was like, I knew it. I saw it coming. But it didn't take away from the fact that I love this book so much. I have not stopped thinking about it since I finished it. So do with that what you will. If you have been putting off finishing this duology, don't. This is your sign to not. Go read it. And last but not least, the last book that I finished in the month of February was The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Yes, my dish because off of this, it has been ripped to shreds by my dog. It was my bad. I cannot lie to you. It really was my bad. I shouldn't have done what I done. But I digress. I take responsibility. It's no one's fault but my own. I'm fine with the No Judge jacket because I love the naked hardcover as is. That's just beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. So with that being said, this is a reread. This is my 3rd time rereading it. And totally, to be honest, I regret rereading it because I did not need to reread. No, I didn't. I really didn't, but I thought I did, and I reread it, and I was like, I didn't need to reread this because I remember everything that happened. So I will be probably reading book 2 this month because I need to. I really need to finish the series and just do what I need to do with it because why have it taken me this long to read it? I don't know. If you don't know, neither one of us knows, so that means it's time for me to finish it. But I really enjoyed it. In this book, they're following 6 people as they get accepted into the Alexandrian Society. This happens every so many years. I forget how many years. I guess every 7 years. 6 people get accepted, but only 5 can make it. They are learning how to hone their powers. They're called medians, whatever they're called. They're something. They all have different magical abilities. You have Callum, Tristan, Libby, Ezra, Raining, and Parissa. Parissa can read your mind. Raina is really good with plants. Libby and Ezra are good with like physical stuff. Like I like atoms and stuff like that, like small mechanical things. Callum does something with emotions, and then Tristan can see through illusions that people do. So, like, say if Libby used an illusion to mask a pimple, which literally happens in the book, he can see through it. But with that being said, I really do enjoy this book. It is really well written. It is pretentious as it is advertised. I cannot lie, it's advertised as pretentious. It is very much pretentious. I cannot wait to go into the book 2 with the way that this one ended and the things we find out by the end of this book. So, as I previously mentioned earlier, I did DNF a book, and then I came to realize after talking about Wretched that I DNF 2 books a month, and I also DNF Beauty the Ninth this month. I have had this book on my TBR for so long. I have had this since my birthday in 2023, so almost 3 years, and I have yet to read it. I picked it up one time, listened to the first couple chapters, put it down. This time, I listened to about 200 pages of it. I'm DNFing it. I just cannot get into it. I don't care. Like, I was listening to it, but I wasn't taking anything in. I just didn't care. Also, if you want me to care, I need to know what the fuck is going on, and I had no clue what was going on in this book, and I thought that would keep me pulled in so I can learn to find out what was going on, but I just could care less. Sorry, not sorry. If you love the series, I'm sorry, but also at the same time, I'm not sorry because I do not care about this book. I don't. So it is getting on hold. I will not have it on my shelves any longer. It's sad to see it go because it's been sitting on my shelf for so long. But we need to make room for other books. And I have a feeling that there are a couple other books on my shelves that I'm going to end up getting rid of. There is one that I can see on the camera right now that I can literally reach up and pick off the shelf. I just don't want to yet because it has stunning blue sprayed edges, and blue is my favorite color. But I did DNF this. And then the other book that I DNF was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. You will see me. I picked it up towards the end of my 24-hour readathon, and then it's in a vlog where I officially DNF it. I just wasn't enjoying it like I thought I was. I was not interested in the characters. I didn't care about the plot. When I don't care about a book, that's enough reason for me not to continue on and force myself to read it, and I just did not care. I didn't care what was happening with the plot. I didn't care if all the gods died or whatever. So I actually technically had 3 DNFs in the month of, 2 DNFs in February. So, but that is it for today's video. I recall February a very successful month, especially considering I read so many books off my physical shelves. Like 5 of the 8 books that I read came off my physical shelves. And I'm trying to get this down before my birthday because I feel like for my birthday I'm going to want to buy a crap ton of books for myself. So I'm trying to get this down at least a little bit. I really don't have a lot on my physical TBR as is. Anyways, I think I have less than 30 books, typically speaking, on my TBR. Because a lot of times I end up including rereads in my TBRs for my physical TBR. But if I don't include rereads, I think I have maybe like 30 or less books on my physical TBR. So, we're making a positive dent in it. So, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you've read any of these books that I have talked about in today's video. I know I kind of rushed through this, but I already knew what I was going to say when I sat down for this video. I've been thinking about this video since this morning when I knew I was going to film it today. So I knew what I was going to say, what was going to happen. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great day, even night, morning, afternoon, and whatever world you are having it in. I know you haven't seen a vlog from me in a little bit. I think the last video you saw from me was my 24-hour readathon. But you do have some vlogs coming your way as soon as I can finish reading some books. Animal Crossing has really taken over, and I haven't been reading as much as I really need to be reading or want to be reading. But I'm changing that up. I have been sitting down and reading this weekend. I'm almost done with the book. I will be finishing it after this clip because I need to know what happens. I just have too many questions. But with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video, which may be a 5-star prediction video or my reading romantasy video. I don't know which one you're going to see first. One or two you're going to see. But with that being said, I will see you in my next video. Down below with my Instagram, Fable, Goodreads, for you to go check out if you would like. But I will see you guys in my next video. Good.